A massive Boeing 777 veers directly into restricted military airspace. The world's most sophisticated air defense network is watching. Every radar operator sees the deviation. Every command officer knows the location. Every fighter jet sits fueled and armed on the tarmac. Yet for hours, nobody moves, nobody acts, nobody scrambles. Why did the world's most advanced military air defense system watch a rogue aircraft vanish without firing a shot? Today, we expose the bureaucratic paralysis and fatal hesitation that turned military protocol into a tomb. March 8, 2014, 11:35 in the evening. Kuala Lumpur International Airport. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 is preparing for departure. 239 people on board. A routine flight to Beijing. Nothing appears out of place. The aircraft systems are normal. The crew is professional. Ground handling is standard. All procedures are followed.
Malaysia 370, you're cleared for pushback. Malaysia 370, ready for pushback.
Takeoff at 12:41 a.m. The aircraft climbs normally, systems functioning perfectly, no warnings, no anomalies. Altitude increases smoothly, speed building as designed. Everything is exactly as it should be.
Malaysia 370 leaving 1,500 feet, climbing to 35,000 feet. Malaysia 370, maintain climb, maintain runway heading, climbing to 35,000.
40 minutes into flight, the aircraft is now at cruising altitude. All systems remain nominal. The flight is proceeding exactly on schedule. No mechanical issues reported. No weather concerns. The crew communicates with air traffic control. Clear, professional, routine.
Malaysia 370, we have reached 35,000 feet, commencing cruise on heading 25 degrees. Malaysia 370 on Roger, Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Malaysia 370.
1:19 in the morning, a routine handoff is occurring. Malaysia 370 is being transferred from Malaysian to Thai air traffic control. The captain makes his final transmission. Good night, Malaysia 370. These are his last words to Malaysian control. On this frequency, he is never heard from again. The words good night take on a new meaning.
Good night, Malaysian 370. Good night, 370. Contact Ho Chi Minh 112.5. Good night.
Meanwhile, in Bangkok, Thai air traffic control is waiting. They expect Malaysia 370 to check in on their frequency at this moment. The controller calls. Malaysia 370, Ho Chi Minh, how do you read? No response. Again, still nothing. The silence that follows is not empty. It is full of questions.
Malaysia 370, Ho Chi Minh, how do you read? Malaysia 370, Bangkok, how do you read Bangkok? That aircraft should have checked in by now. We're not seeing on our scope either. It should be right here.
But on Malaysian military radar, a very different picture is emerging. The aircraft blip that was moving northeast is now turning sharply. Not a gradual turn, a sharp, deliberate change of course. The aircraft is heading back toward the Malaysian peninsula, into restricted military airspace. The radar operators see it, clear as any blip has ever been.
Wait, did you see that? That blip just turned. Yeah, I see it. Sharp turn. What's it doing? I don't know. Should we do something about it? What's the situation? We have a target that just deviated from Jordan Mac Tour.
Here is the critical limitation. The military is seeing only primary radar. The aircraft's transponder has been disabled. The pilots turned it off, deliberately. Without transponder data, the radar sees only a blip, just a dot. No identification, no call sign, no altitude readout. Could be civilian, could be military, could be anything. The radar has seen the target, but the system is blind to what the target actually is.
We're looking at primary radar only. The transponder's not transmitting.
Why would a civilian aircraft turn off its transponder?
It shouldn't, but it has. That's what we're seeing. This is the limitation.
For decades, there has been no actual intercept threat in this region, no hostile aircraft, no unknown contacts requiring military response. The operators are trained for technical procedures, monitoring, tracking, reporting, but they are not mentally prepared for actual crisis decision-making. The gap between peacetime monitoring and wartime intercept is psychological. It is the difference between watching a problem and deciding to stop it. This gap is about to become fatal.
Probably just a military aircraft or civilian aircraft with a transponder problem. Nothing unusual. But sir, it's making unusual maneuvers. Let's see what happens. No need to raise alarm over what is probably nothing.
The operator makes a decision. Based on the available information and years of peacetime routine, the aircraft is categorized as friendly, perhaps another nation's military aircraft, perhaps an aircraft with system malfunction. The label is entered into the system. Once this assumption is made, the entire response changes. A friendly contact is monitored, not escalated, not reported, not acted upon. The assumption becomes reality.
We have a target in military airspace categorizing as possible friendly due to lack of hostile indicators. Copy that. Continue monitoring monitor Detroit. No immediate action required. Probably nothing, just a glitch or a wayward aircraft.
The information reaches command headquarters. The commanding officer receives the report. We have an unidentified target in airspace, classified as friendly due to lack of hostile indicators. The commander considers the information. In peacetime, unidentified does not equal threat. Threat triggers response. Unknown triggers assessment. Assessment leads to monitoring, not action. The phone on the desk remains silent.
Sir, we have a radar contact that has deviated from normal track and is heading back into Malaysian airspace. No transponder signal. Currently classified as possible friendly. Any indication of hostile intent? None, sir. Could be an aircraft with system malfunction.
At the airfield, military interceptor aircraft sit on alert. These are not cargo planes. These are fighter jets, armed, fueled. Pilots are in quarters, ready to launch in minutes. The entire infrastructure for response is in place. All that is missing is the order to act. The order never comes.
We're standing by for any scramble orders. Ready to launch on command. Think we'll get called up tonight?
Probably not. Hasn't been a real intercept in years.
The military air defense system has a protocol. It is designed for orderly decision-making in normal times. Anomaly detected, assessment required, command notified, decision escalated, approval from multiple levels, verification, confirmation, authorization. This is the proper procedure for peacetime. But when an aircraft is already changing course and continuing to deviate at high speed, bureaucratic procedure becomes a liability.
According to protocol, we need approval from 5 different command levels before launching an intercept. But the aircraft has already been airborne for an hour. The intercept window is closing. Protocol is protocol. It exists for a reason.
The aircraft is no longer maintaining cruising altitude, descending rapidly, changing heading again, another sharp turn. The radar operators see the blip. It is moving in ways that suggest knowledge of how to evade detection. Low altitude, high speed, constant course changes. The window for intercept is closing, has closed, is gone.
Target is descending rapidly, changing heading. Evasive maneuvers detected. Get fighters in the air, now. Understood, initiating launch sequence. Sir, we've lost gone from our screens.
Malaysia has detected the aircraft on military radar, but Malaysia is not sharing this information. Why? Revealing what Malaysian radar detected means revealing Malaysian radar capability. Revealing capability means revealing limitations. Revealing limitations means exposing military vulnerability to neighboring nations. Thailand and Vietnam are allies in this moment of crisis, but they are not always allies. History in this region is complex. Military secrets are precious. Even in emergency, national security takes precedence.
We detected the aircraft on military radar, but we cannot share that information with Thailand and Vietnam. Why not? They need to know the aircraft and their airspace. If we tell them we reveal our radar's capabilities, that information could be used against us. So we say nothing.
Meanwhile, Thailand is completely unaware. The Thai air traffic control is waiting for a check-in that will never come. Thailand has no military radar information. Thailand does not know the aircraft deviated. Thailand does not know the aircraft descended. Thailand does not know the aircraft performed evasive maneuvers. Thailand only knows that an aircraft that should have checked in did not. This absence of information, combined with Malaysia's silence, creates a fatal information vacuum.
Malaysia 370, Bangkok air traffic, how do you read? Malaysian side, do you have contact with Malaysia 370? We lost radar contact, aircraft no longer appears on our scope. But it should be in our S now.
The Malaysian military faces a choice: reveal what the radar detected and expose capability and limitation, or maintain silence and protect national security. The general commanding the air defense assets must decide. In military thinking, revealing weakness invites aggression. Exposing radar limitations could shift regional power balance. Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, Singapore, all watching, all assessing capability. In this context, an aircraft disappearance becomes acceptable cost. Not stated, not admitted, but understood.
If we admit we detected this aircraft, we admit our radar capabilities and limitations. That information in the wrong hands could be used against us. Sir, but thousands of people are missing. Search and rescue is being delayed by lack of information. We protect our secrets.
Hours pass. 1 hour of silence becomes 2. 2 becomes 4. 4 becomes 6. 8 hours. 10 hours. 12 hours. The search and rescue assets are ready. Ships are standing by. Aircraft are fueled. But search and rescue cannot begin without knowing where to search, and no one is sharing the information that would tell them.
We need to launch search operations. Where was the last known position of Malaysia 370? Contact was lost. We need better information. Aircraft don't just disappear. What is the Malaysian military telling you?
Hours after the aircraft should have landed, a formal announcement is made. Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 has lost contact with air traffic control. The words are careful, not mentioning military radar, not mentioning military knowledge, not mentioning the choices that were made, simply stating, aircraft missing, search initiated, time already stolen.
Malaysia Airlines wishes to inform that Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370, scheduled to land in Beijing, has lost contact with air traffic control. We are coordinating with international authorities to locate the aircraft.
How long has the aircraft been missing?
Several hours.
Why weren't we told immediately?
We are investigating all available information.
When investigators later examine the radar data, the deviation is unmistakable. The aircraft did not malfunction. The aircraft did not get lost. The aircraft deliberately changed course, deliberately disabled its transponder, deliberately flew at altitude and speed designed to avoid detection. Every action visible in the radar data indicates knowledge of air defense systems.
Look at the radar track. The aircraft didn't malfunction. This was deliberate. The turns are too precise. The altitude change is too calculated. Someone knew exactly what they were doing. Someone with aviation knowledge and military knowledge.
The evasion tactics used require training in military aviation, flying below radar coverage, using terrain to block radar signals, timing turns to avoid radar sampling. These are not civilian piloting techniques. A civilian pilot would not know to fly at specific altitudes to avoid radar. A civilian pilot would not know to execute turns at precise moments. A military pilot would. Someone trained in military air combat would.
This flight path uses military evasion tactics. Not saying the pilot was military trained. I'm saying whoever piloted this aircraft knew how to evade military radar. That knowledge comes from military training.
Years later, the radar operators reflect on what happened that night. They saw the deviation. They saw the aircraft enter restricted airspace. They saw the target categorized as friendly, and they did nothing. Not because they lacked the power, but because they lacked the will. The will comes from training, confidence, and belief that action is warranted. None of these were present in that room at that moment.
I see the deviation, but I didn't believe it was a real threat. You escalate because I didn't believe it, and I was uncertain of my authority. The system didn't prepare us for this. We were trained for routine, not for crisis.
The investigation also examines the protocols themselves, the chain of command structure, the approval processes, the thresholds for escalation. Every layer of bureaucracy is analyzed for its role in the failure. The finding is clear. The system was designed for normal times, when time is abundant, when threats are slow, when there is room for deliberation. But in crisis, time becomes the enemy, and this system creates time rather than saving it.
The original protocol required approval from 5 command levels. That takes hours. An intercept window is missed, so the system self-guaranteed failure. The system was never designed for a real threat. It was designed to manage routine monitoring. Analysis complete.
After this incident, international protocols changed. Real-time radar data sharing was implemented across Southeast Asia. Nations that had guarded their military secrets began sharing in real time because the cost of secrecy became clear. The cost was 239 lives. An aircraft that should have been intercepted became invisible. Modern international coordination centers now ensure that what Malaysia saw, Thailand knew. What Thailand knew, Vietnam understood. And if an aircraft deviates, every nation in the region knows immediately.
The new system ensures real-time data sharing. If any aircraft behaves abnormally, every nation knows within seconds. Yes, no nation bureaucratic delays, deviation triggers automatic alert to all parties.
But the most important change is satellite-based automatic tracking. Beginning with new aircraft and retrofitted into older ones, every commercial aircraft now has independent satellite reporting, not connected to cockpit systems, not disabled by pilot action, not reliant on transponder, reporting continuously and automatically to ground stations worldwide. The aircraft of today cannot vanish like MH370 could. The hardware now prevents what human judgment failed to prevent.
The new ICAO mandate requires satellite tracking. Every commercial aircraft now reports its position independently. Pilots cannot disable it, so this cannot happen again. The system is unhackable from the cockpit.
The aircraft was never found. Despite massive international search efforts, the primary wreckage remains undiscovered. The aircraft is gone. The passengers and crew are gone. The mystery of how and where remains unsolved. But the mystery of why the military did not intercept is now solved. The aircraft did not vanish because of technology failure. It vanished because humans chose not to act. This is the unbearable truth. 239 people, each with a family, each with a future that was taken. Pilots, flight attendants, businessmen, children, infants, elderly travelers. Each name on the manifest was a life. Years later, families still wait, not for the aircraft, but for understanding, for acknowledgement, for justice in some form.
My father was on this flight. He never got to return home. And nobody wanted to admit that he could have been brought home if the military had simply acted.
239 people.
The investigation conclusion is stark. It was not a lack of technology that lost MH370. Malaysia had radar. Malaysia had military aircraft. Malaysia had trained pilots. It was not a lack of capability. It was bureaucratic paralysis, the unwillingness to act despite complete information. The system was designed to protect secrets, not to save lives. When the choice came between national security and human life, national security won. This is the enduring failure. Not that the system could not act, but that the system chose not to.
Every element was in place. Radar detected the deviation, military understood the situation, fighter jets were ready. All that was missing was the decision to act.
Why did that decision
Not for routine.
What was truly missing that night was not technology, was not capability, was not information. What was missing was will, the courage to act despite uncertainty, the decision to prioritize human life over national secret keeping, the willingness to say, unknown contact, take action, instead of unknown contact, continue monitoring. One commander, with courage, with willingness to accept responsibility, could have changed everything, could have scrambled the fighters, could have initiated intercept, could have forced a response. But that courage did not emerge, that decision was not made.
If the commander had said scramble interceptors now, everything would be different. 239 people might still be alive.
But he didn't say that.
No, he chose caution, he chose protocol, he chose the path that required personal risk.
The world learned from this failure. The lesson was written in 239 lives lost. The new system is faster, more automated, less reliant on human judgment, because human judgment failed. Not because the judges were evil, but because the system did not prepare them for crisis, did not train them for this choice, did not give them protocols for speed. Today, an aircraft cannot disappear like this, not because humans are better, but because we have removed some of the human element, put automation in place, made speed automatic, made response less dependent on will. But the deeper lesson remains uncomfortable. It is that systems fail not because they lack capability, but because they lack will. And will is the one thing that cannot be automated. It can only be trained, only be demanded, only be enforced in culture and accountability. On March 8, 2014, the will to act was missing. That absence cost 239 lives. We cannot fix will with technology. We can only try to build systems where the next commander facing the same choice finds the courage that was missing that night.
The failure of MH370 was not inevitable. It was a choice. And that choice echoes still.